Muy buenos días a todos y todas. Bienvenidos al último día de estas 15ª jornadas de la infraestructura de datos espaciales de la República Argentina, organizadas conjuntamente por IDERA, el Gobierno de la Provincia de Santiago del Estero, la IDE de Santiago y la Secretaría de Ciencia y Tecnología de la provincia. Para comenzar, le cedo las palabras al coordinador ejecutivo de IDERA, el agrimensor Sergio Zimbaro. Sergio, muy buenos días. Te cedo la palabra.
¿Qué tal? Buenos días a todos y todas en este último día de exposiciones de la 15ª jornada de IDERA. En principio quería agradecer profundamente al profesor Abbas la oportunidad de tenerlo con nosotros, de aceptar la invitación, a pesar de la diferencia horaria y de la distancia, que pudo hacer un video también y estar presente en esta tercera jornada. Para nosotros es un honor, es un placer tenerlo en este día, en esta jornada, porque nos da y nos brinda el camino internacional, ¿no? O sea, cómo se está llevando adelante las infraestructuras de datos espaciales a nivel global, ya que él es un referente importantísimo de esta temática a nivel global. Así que, en principio, quería agradecerle a Abbas y en este marco darle la bienvenida a la comunidad de IDERA de Argentina. Así que sé que hay un traductor que le está traduciendo en este momento. Así que muchísimas gracias, profesor Abbas, por estar con nosotros hoy una vez más, agradeciendo su presencia. Y en este marco, agradecer a Luis Reynoso, que fue quien impulsó esta iniciativa, esta propuesta de invitar al profesor Abbas, y que se consensuó en el equipo coordinador. Cuando vino la propuesta, inmediatamente lo que pensamos es cómo hacer este tema de la traducción, pero siempre estuvimos dispuestos a que una figura como la de Abbas estuviera prestigiando las jornadas de IDERA. Así que, Luis, para vos muchísimas gracias también por el contacto que hiciste con el profesor. Y bien, creo que va a ser una muy buena exposición donde nos va a brindar el marco internacional de las IDES, para que tengamos en cuenta el camino que venimos recorriendo y el que nos queda por recorrer. Así que muchísimas gracias a todos y todas.
Sergio, ahí, bueno, el traductor le va a transmitir el mensaje ahora en directo.
Professor Abbas, can you hear me?
Por ahí fue un poco largo entonces el...
Avisarle que está silenciado.
You're muted in case you're saying something. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
That's excellent. But I don't know what is the problem, because I'm not sure if you're also seeing me as well.
No, we can see you right now. Just
I don't know what is the problem with the system here, because I can see all of you, and also my camera is on, and I just had another meeting, using the WebEx. We didn't have any problem.
Okay, we'll send our support to check out what's going on. But before we start, the president of IDERA wanted to greet you and thank you for being here today.
It's absolutely a pleasure.
Despite of the time range difference and the space that's between us. And he also wanted to thank Luis Reynoso that made the contact with you. Just give us a couple minutes, we'll check out what's happening with your video.
Thank you.
Muy bien, muchas gracias. Luis, te cedo la palabra ahora para que puedas darle a Abbas, así mientras solucionamos este problema que le está teniendo con la cámara.
Bueno, yo voy a ir haciendo unos espacios de silencio, así el traductor le puede ir traduciendo mientras solucionan este problema. Nos llena de orgullo recibir su participación en nuestras jornadas, Usted es un referente no solamente en la IDE de Australia, sino también a nivel global.
We're really proudful of having you here today. You're one of the top referents of the STI, not only in Australia, but worldwide.
Es una enorme alegría para nuestro gobierno, para la academia y también para toda la comunidad de IDERA poder recibir su participación, fundamentalmente por toda su trayectoria en geomática y en STI.
It's a matter of great joy for us to have you here with us today, especially for all of your trajectory in STI and geospatial information.
Quiero destacar que Abbas Rajabifard es profesor y director de Desarrollo Inteligente y Sostenible y líder de la disciplina del Departamento de Geomática.
I wanted to remark that Professor Abbas is, ¿puedes repetir la disciplina, por
Sí.
favor?
Profesor y director de Desarrollo Sostenible e Inteligente.
It's head of the Sustainable Development Area and Smart Development.
Él trabaja en la Universidad de Melbourne, Australia.
Works in the University of Melbourne, Australia.
También es director del Centro de Infraestructura de Datos Espaciales.
Also, he's the headmaster of the STI Center.
Es director del Centro para la Gestión de Desastres y Seguridad Pública.
He's also headmaster of the director of the Disaster Management Center and Public Office.
Dicho centro se centra en la realización de investigaciones multidisciplinarias.
The center focuses in multidisciplinary tasks.
Profesor Abbas Rajabifard fue presidente de la red académica
Professor Abbas was president of the network, of the academic network
del Comité de Expertos en Gestión de Información Geoespacial Global de Naciones Unidas.
of the Committee of Experts of Geospatial Information in United Nations.
Actualmente es miembro de la Junta Asesora de la Red Académica de Naciones Unidas.
Right now, he's a member of the advisory board of the Academic Council in United Nations.
Profesor Abbas ha escrito numerosos artículos y revistas de alto impacto a nivel internacional.
He has written many articles in high-level magazines worldwide.
Ha escrito numerosos libros a nivel internacional sobre infraestructura de datos espaciales.
Has also written many books at international level about spatial data infrastructure.
Publicaciones, por ejemplo, de la Federación Internacional de Geomática,
Also in publics like the International Association of Geomatic,
y muchísimas revistas de alto impacto a nivel internacional, como el Journal and Geographic Information,
and many high-level impact magazines as Journal of Geographic Information.
y otro journal como el International Journal on Digital Health, Transaction on GIS, Computer, Environment and Urban System. También no podemos dejar de destacar sus importantes aportes en conceptos como sociedad habilitada espacialmente.
We can put aside also the great efforts he has made. ¿Puedes repetir la última parte, verdad?
Sí, que ha desarrollado importantes conceptos tales como sociedad habilitada espacialmente.
He has also developed really important concepts as spatially enabled societies.
Por todo esto, profesor Abbas, para nosotros le agradecemos enormemente su participación en las jornadas. Como dijo Sergio Zimbaro, es un enorme orgullo para nosotros poder compartir con usted en esta época tan particular que es la pandemia y poder tenerlo como invitado especial.
For all of these, it's really important for us to have you here with us today, Professor Abbas. And as Sergio said before, we're really thankful for having you here despite of the pandemic, and we're really proud of having you here with us.
Muchas gracias, Luis. Vamos a dar continuación a la presentación del profesor Abbas, así que en estos momentos se va a transmitir su presentación, que está subtitulada para aquellos que puedan leerlo. También lo pueden ver a través de YouTube, que se va a estar transmitiendo en directo. Adelante con la presentación. Muchas gracias, Luis. Muchas gracias, Sergio.
Me avisan, por favor, si se comparte.
Por ahora no.
Ahí estoy por compartir.
Ahora sí.
Queridos colegas, espero que estén bien a salvo. I'm very pleased to be with you today and have the opportunity to share with you some of the new trends in spatial data infrastructure. And I'm going to talk about the role of information to support digital economy. I would like to wish you all very safe in the current uncertain situation in COVID. What I'm going to emphasize more is about location intelligence and advancing our societies by utilizing better in the new era of the spatial data infrastructure. Emerging digital spatial information and services enable us to gain insight from data, resulting in cost, efficiency, and decision-making benefits. So the topics that I'm going to touch on a bit related to spatial information trends, digital twin for digital economy, and of course the opportunities as a new SDI with also connectivities to cadastre, new technology and advancement, open data, AI, machine learning, and many other technology in that context. But first, let us have a look to the key drivers. We are seeing series of pressures at the same time advancement in our societies. We see the population growth and also increasing in urban complexities. We also see environmental sustainability, increasing disasters, which is a worldwide problem. Pandemic is another one that we are all facing today, as well as also the role of SDI in Industry 4.0 and technology trend. Land administration modernization agenda, which is another spin for the countries, as well as also different technology, Internet of Things, AI, AR, making sense of a smart data, smart utilities, 3-dimension, 4-dimension, and to the N dimension, as well as also we're focusing on the sustainability for sustainable future for all and sustainable development goals. But everything is about land, people, and sustainability. Around each of these elements, we have series of factors that we need to address. Therefore, we need to understand this relationship, and then we can look at to see how location links us to where we are and what we are doing. So therefore, it is important to understand the role that location intelligence is playing in our societies today. Future is smart, connected, and sustainable. So we are talking about connected systems, connected platforms, as well as also connected governments, connected minds. So therefore, by having connected societies, we can move it from the sustainable to being more productivity and also regenerative. Current challenges and opportunities that we see in the market. If you look at the challenges, different jurisdictions, of course, are different, but we are seeing series of those related to pandemic, which is worldwide challenge today, climate change, sea level rise, water, the shortage of water in many jurisdictions, We also seen the advancement in technologies, IoT, VR, AR, blockchain, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, as well as also what are the important elements for our societies, health, safety, economy, job markets, aging population, infrastructure. Therefore, if we think about the innovation for our next generation, we're also thinking about what are the foundation for especially enabled societies. Then we can look at these three elements and then also understand our jurisdictions. When you look at the global trends, climate change, therefore we see significant disasters which is happening worldwide. Are we prepared for what's going to be coming next? So therefore, in any type of elements, we see that we are going one step forward, but due to the incident, disasters, then we get 2 steps back. And therefore, we need to be very mindful about how we design our system that would assist us to mitigating the disasters and also becoming more resilient. Disasters impacting the interaction and also impacting many objectives from social, economic, and also environmental systems. It's also affecting our infrastructures, populations. At the same time, we also seeing complex urban environment. The primary reasons that there are these limitations, which when we look at these complexities and the way that we have problem of accessing to the right information for our decision-making process. So therefore, we look at the lack of ecosystem of open, harmonized, and interoperable information models and also data sets across land, built environment, and natural environments. If we have the open access information and have a right infrastructure in place, then we can look at, and we are thinking about moving from the current paper or the digital form into the new era, which is the digital twin as a new enabler, as a paradigm shift, by utilizing the digital twin, which I'll come back to the definition of this, and then moving from 2-dimension to 3-dimension, going from silo-based environment into the integrated environment, as well as also we're talking about accessibility to the wider information in our societies. But also important to focus on the standardization and of course then the trusted information, which we see. But we need to understand our cities. We need to also understand which jurisdiction we are going to work on. So therefore we need to look at our cities. And then by understanding our jurisdictions, Buenos Aires, many other jurisdictions similar to this, advancing, expanding, and also populating information. We also seeing the many parts of the world, when we look at the cities and advancement in those, and the complexity in our cities, then we can see that this is not going to be perhaps easy as before to managing this complexity, particularly if we are embedding this resilience and sustainability into our design. But of course, all cities are not the same. This is why we need to understand our jurisdictions well. We need to actually see that where we're going to actually build infrastructure, where we're going to support our societies, and what are the maturity of the jurisdictions and the elements. Many of the jurisdictions we are dealing today around the world, we're seeing that informal settlements significantly around the cities. So therefore, we need to understand, at the same time also understand the technological advancement in this. When we look at the spatial information trends, there are different areas which we can look at, from the data capturing from Earth observation, UAV, LiDAR scanning, as well as also data analytics by bringing series of automation into this mix. And then when we apply series of computation, we need to also look at the communicating the results. So therefore, visualizations come to play. VR, virtual reality, augmented reality, 3-dimension, 4-dimension, ND. Now, if you look at the journey from the paper map into the digital form, then we can see that we move from paper-based to digital to 3-dimension to high-definition live information, as well as indoor and outdoor, and then moving to digital twin. This is a new trend. This is the area that we can see that spatial data infrastructure becoming enabler. If we actually bringing and designing a platform like digital twin today, because every aspects of our societies, we are dealing with the information, particularly location information. So therefore, any type of the advancement, we're capturing information into that. So data is the foundation. It is the important elements to support different applications. And this is why the technology and societies are driving the data ecosystem. So therefore, we need to understand this to better addressing the value and also return on our investments. We're talking about the interconnected future for all. This is about sustainability, sustainable development goals, UN agenda, that all countries are trying to adopting this or addressing. But it's important to see the relationship between SDGs, smart city, if you want to actually build and advancing and also leveraging off from the location intelligence, and then digital twin. It is very important to understand the relationship between these components, from digital twin into the also SDGs and into the smart cities. And this is going to be about their inclusiveness, connectivities, and resilience. And in middle, we see the location, we see the spatial information. It is about spatially enabled societies. When we look at to these elements, we can see many advancements into this, from digital constructions, the techniques that we can actually visualize what we're going to build here. If you look at to the city, and then the role that national SDI, which is a new trend, and in the city context, when we look at to the city, and then around the city, we are dealing with the advanced, with the series of different utilities, applications, domains, for example. And then each of those activities, then we have series of indicators that need to be addressed for the measure, for the also better servicing and efficiency and effectiveness. Therefore, in this context, new era for the spatial data infrastructure, and SDI, is now playing a major role. And SDI becoming as a backbone in efficient government and also economic development. Now, if you look at from the real world, moving to the digital world, so we are going from the real world into the foundation that it requires, because we're talking about connected platform, connected societies. So therefore, we need to look at the foundation, like the cadastre, the 2-dimensional spatial accurate parcel fabric, the foundation data sets, into the 3-dimension, into the also environment that then will becoming fully digital, and then moving toward modernization of these by enabling them with digital twin and also 3-dimensional environment. If we do this one, we can actually more focus on the maximizing the return on our investment. And what we arrive as a research center, and we have estimated, we've been working with a number of international agencies, including World Bank, that actually we have addressed series of things. We have studied under the funded project on the World Bank to look at the series of how we can improve resilience by improving land and geospatial information, particularly land records. And then what we are seeing in this advancement, the opportunity for maximizing the return. Any dollar investment, $4 return. This is for more advanced and ready type infrastructure. When we develop an infrastructure, SDI for perhaps underdeveloped jurisdictions, we can imagine that actually the return is going to be much, much higher. We are talking about changing paradigm. When we look at the traditional project delivery, which has been in the ad hoc situation, but now we can look at the opportunity and also having integrated project delivery. We talk about shared model that would connect series of elements. Into this mix, if you look at to how we are moving to digital twin from the three-dimensional environment from 2D to 3D into the validations, we need to look at to the validating information into this. We need to look at to see how best we can organize this, and then arriving into building digital twin, and then going indoor, and then making in reality different opportunities that we can go. So from the real world, we are building a two-dimensional accurate base map, which majority jurisdictions have this, and now if we are converting this into digital form, and then if we're building the three-dimensional parcel fabric, so therefore by having this, and then by adding digital cadastre on top of that, the elements that we are building to communicating ownerships as well as right restriction responsibilities. Therefore, then at the phase 4, we can arrive into the digital twin, which would be then applying series of IoT and different automation on top of that to build. So therefore, a new era for SDI arriving into digital twin, which is a digital representation of a real world entity and system. So therefore, we are talking about a system and also subsystems, which would provide us with significant opportunities. As a live data system, we can apply. And whenever we deal with this, the system become more mature. So we can get more accurate information and more advanced into this. So highly advanced digital representation of the real world. This is a foundation that in Australia, for example, Australian government have put together principles for specially enabled digital twin of the built and natural environment for whole Australia. So therefore, we are combining underpinning data infrastructure, which increases the value of digital information, and also providing based on the location intelligence. And there are a series of steps in order to move into this. If you look at the digital twin, the platform that we are offering, we are talking about 3 domains. One is related to the data, which is collected, managed, and stored and communicated by different agencies. So therefore, if you want to advance, your infrastructure and also providing connectivities among different agencies. So therefore, how are you going to actually share this? And then applying series of model into that, depending to the application domains. And also, again, putting series of computation on top of this as a script. Therefore, we can look at to the analytics, we can look at to the simulation and visualization. Therefore, we can drive knowledge, intelligence, and insight. This is the trend that we see in the market. And therefore, at the same time, we need to look at the establishment of partnership and also cooperative approaches. It is very important to look at this, that how best we can go. The central to this is the development of new strategy platform. So from the top-down approach or bottom-up approach, we need to have a both approach as a team together to work. We need to look at to the precinct level, to the city, to the state, to national, and to the global level. There are a series of frameworks that exist. From IGIF, UN, and World Bank have developed jointly a framework. This is integrated geospatial information framework, or new urban agenda, and also UN SDGs agenda. So therefore, by looking to any of these elements, we can bring this together, and by developing adaptable digital twin platform, which is based on the SDI, is going to empowering the government, wider societies, and researchers. They can then look at to collect, model, and analyze data to support sustainability, as well as also in different jurisdictions. Let me share with you a number of applications and also work. What we have done in Australia, we have developed series of, we have developed digital twin for Victorian government. We have worked with a number of agencies, more than 22 departments. We have been interacting and collecting over 1,200 data sets into the proof of concept system, for example, Fisherman's Bend as one of the areas on that. Melbourne University is also going to be co-locating here. What you can see, the context analysis here, what you can see here is about the series of new trend and also building environment that we have. So therefore, by building such a system, we can build and analyze and also apply series of computation into that. Also, we can see into this mix the architect concept review. This is, as I said, is our University of Melbourne new architect and building that we are actually making over there. We already embedded that one into our digital twin platform. We can deal with that. We can move around that. We can test and examine, as well as also we can analyze, and in comparing with different regulations, then we can arrive into this. So therefore, we are seeing this, that application of this digital environment, by also integrating this into the mix by, for example, the three-dimensional cadastre, land information, modernization of the land, by linking building information model, data application for the 3D, three-dimensional queries, also for search and visualization. So then you can see that there are series of new advancement here that you can deal with. You can have different objects from the parcel into the building to make that opening up, particularly by utilizing technology like building information model. And then you can deal with each floor. You can deal with that for the safety, for the location, for the space allocation, for the energy efficiency, and any other elements. So this is a trend that I would like, and my message is to how you can advancing your SDI and your activities. And we would be very happy to meet and discuss with you at any time, to share with you different domains, to share with you also how you can build this, as we are also building this for different countries. Our research center have been investigating over the last few years, advancing technology like digital twin, to supporting planning, to supporting SDI, as well as also becoming as an enabler to the whole economy. This is the way that we can then look at to the opportunities. Urban scenarios, modeling and analytics. These are again depending to the, for example, about the space allocation, about the sky views, about shadow impact on the open space, and so on that. So therefore, advancement in digital areas and also SDI to facilitate in the trend like digital twin would be the area to go. So you need to focus on this. When we look at to this and by leveraging off these elements, then a process-based approach to achieve sustainability, particularly again by leveraging off spatially enabled societies. When we look at to the location intelligence, we are, as a process, we need to look at to the collecting information, because we're thinking about the identifying challenges that we need to address. And then we look at to the understanding the social economy and also environmental diversities. That means that we need to visualize the data. Then we need to monitoring the progress. Anything that you do, you need to also advance and monitor that. That means that is spatial analytics and analysis. Therefore, then we're developing action plan based on those elements that we applied, and then we need to take actions. Now, understanding this one thing which is very important is the relationships. Any of the, when we look at to the capturing information, visualizing and applying series of computation in that, we need to understand the interrelationship mappings of this. When we look at to the SDGs with 17 goals, they are not just a one-liner of a direct relationship. There are different elements into this. So we need to look to this and understand that SDGs interrelationship is very important. We need to look at this because there are different, by understanding this, relations and also mapping that, that would actually helping us to understand where we should invest and how we should actually advance our areas of infrastructure, and then how spatial information can address this. In our research team, we have been investigating in different areas, different applications. All are based on a spatial data infrastructure. So therefore, sustainability, SDGs, and resilience. Because again, rather than having as an ad hoc, we are thinking about again embedding this. What you can see on the screen, the number of also books that, and also the result of our investment and also research that have actually delivered. So they are all available through our website and they are all open access. So therefore you can access and download this information for the use of your activities. And let me take you and quickly sharing a number of areas here. What I have presented and I just talked about the activities that we have been working on from our research center. This is a center that I'm very pleased that just next month we are celebrating our 20 years activities, 20 years in operation of this. So we are a center that we are focusing on a spatial data infrastructure, modernization of the land system, and digital twin, and many other related areas about the digital intelligence. We are a team of over 40 researchers, developers, and we are dealing and focusing on a number of different areas which are all related to each other. So we are talking about the modernization of the land, building information model, spatial data infrastructure, and advancement into this, enhancing government and governance into this, disaster management, digital twin technology, as well as also sustainability. And I think this is very important, again, the relationship. We need to look at to the maximizing and as well as also making sure that our investments actually going to be connected and also providing the new technology to our wider societies. With this, we are going to get better returns on, as well as also if we talk about the smart cities and how this data infrastructure would support that. We also provide the executive training and also refresher course and capacity building. Again, next month, from 20th of September to 23rd, we are conducting our in a week for our celebration, we are conducting also 2 days trainings. That one would be on digital twin and also one on BIM and modernization of the urban land system. You are all welcome to participating into this event. We are also co-hosting with FIG, the Commission 7 Cadastre. And then on the 23rd, we are celebrating our 20 years, which again, this is open to anyone to attend. And you can visit our website and also register your interest and join us into that. There are a number of publications, as I've indicated, that they are all available and you can access to many of these that are also available as open access. So we have we have put together a geospatial and SDI to supporting pandemic, the COVID-19. This is the latest publication that we have released with contribution from many colleagues from different areas around the world. And I'm very pleased that we also have contribution from Latin America and there are countries from your jurisdictions. So therefore, we have more than 30 countries case studies in this book, and it is open and also free of access. So you can go and access to this publication, and hopefully that would assist you and your jurisdiction. I'm going to finish it off by wishing you best and thanking you again for the opportunity that you provided me today to be with you and to share some of the thoughts, and in particular, talking about the digital twin, talking about the new era for spatial data infrastructure and advancement into the system. And in particular, that we need to look at to our design by having the sustainability and resilience, embedding that into our future world. Therefore, you're most welcome to visiting our website. You have my details here and also our website that you can access to all of our publications, as well as also you can find the link to visiting and also registering to joining us in our event in September next month. And in particular, again, we are going to advance and continue our conversation with you. we would be very delighted again working with you. And I would like to suggest that you consider to developing a prototyping, a city, a small project for one of your cities. And then you can apply a series of modeling into that. And then that would help you then to see what are the areas that you can advance, and then you can scale up for the whole jurisdiction. By this, I would like to stop here, and I'm open for any comments and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Abbas, for your presentations. We have a lot of questions from the audience. I will give you some of them.
Be very happy to answer any question. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, yes, we can. We can hear you and see you. Okay. Tenemos la traducción ahí. Ahí les voy a leer algunas de las preguntas que están llegando. Pueden hacerlas por el chat.
Okay, so we're gonna keep taking questions from the chat box, and we'll be translating the questions and answers from you and to you.
Yes, very happy with that.
The first one. ¿Cuál sería la estrategia para que los nodos IDES empiecen a publicar información, por ejemplo, cantidad de pisos de un edificio o una restitución fotogramétrica del catastro para avanzar a Digital Twins?
What will be a good strategy so we can make that the STI nodes can progress towards digital twin?
Okay, thank you very much for the questions and also for the opportunity. If I understand correctly, what you are asking about the roadmap, perhaps, I mean, from the SDI to digital twin. If this is the case, what I would like to say, we would be very happy to share with you and work with you to provide the roadmap. SDI is a foundation, is a components that are going to enable the digital twin environment. Digital twin becoming as an enabler and also as a live data system that would interact with all the departments, those who are providing the data into the system, but at the same time, they are utilizing the information for their decision process. So therefore, what you have done so far, we can look at to the maturity of the system and then putting a design approach to translating that to becoming as a live, as a digital twin, as a live system to work with every departments and every agencies across the jurisdictions. And I think this is a very exciting opportunity because we can now have a very advanced environment like as SDI to better addressing into our, the needs of the societies.
I'm sorry, Professor, could you make a couple of sentences and then stop so I can translate the specifics of the concepts a little bit better?
Sure.
I will hate that something is lost because of the need of summing up the translation.
That's my bad. Thank you. Sorry for that. So SDI is the foundation for digital twin.
La IDE, la infraestructura de datos espaciales, es el fundamento del digital twinning.
We have a roadmap to how we can translate the SDI into the digital twin as a pathway.
Tenemos un mapa, una hoja de ruta de cómo traducir, de cómo trasladar la IDE al digital twin.
And in reality, SDI, as a next generation of SDI, we are now talking about a live system, which is the digital twin, which can enable wider societies.
En realidad, el digital twin es una nueva era de lo que es la IDE a través de la cual podemos posibilitar sociedades con un mayor desarrollo.
And I would recommend to all of your colleagues that to consider to do a proof, as a proof of concept or a pilot in part of your beautiful city in order to have a better evidence to demonstrating the value of SDI via digital twin.
Y yo les recomendaría que armen un piloto, una prueba de concepto. You're recommending doing a prototype about
a prototype to demonstrating the approach that how we can work from SDI to the digital twin.
Él hace una recomendación para construir un prototipo, un piloto, para demostrar cómo se puede hacer este traslado de la IDE a el Digital Twin. Creo que estamos por
continuamos con otra pregunta. ¿Cómo es la relación entre el trabajo que realiza la universidad y la IDE, o cuál es el rol que tienen las universidades en la IDE?
How's the relationship between the work that the universities are doing and the SDI? Or what's the role that the universities have in the SDI?
Okay, our research center is, as you have indicated, we are in 20 years in operation. We are a research center which is not only doing research, which also we are doing development.
El centro de investigación del que les he comentado en el video, como les dije, está cumpliendo 20 años y en este caso no es solamente un centro de investigación, sino también un centro de desarrollo.
And our research center are working with Australian government, different state governments, and also private sectors, as well as also we're working with several countries worldwide.
Nuestro centro de investigación está trabajando con el gobierno a nivel nacional en Australia, también con gobiernos estatales o provinciales y también con distintos accionistas, entidades privadas a nivel internacional y también con gobiernos a nivel internacional.
And we have also helped and worked with countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, India, as well as also emerging, some of the new projects that we're working.
Y también estamos trabajando con distintos gobiernos como los que mencionaba, Malasia, Singapur, y están trabajando en distintos proyectos en conjunto con ellos.
And we're currently also preparing for some new, again, domains for digital twin for other countries. In fact, translating similarly from moving from SDI into digital twin and connecting not only national foundation of data, but also land administration into that.
Y lo que estamos haciendo al trabajar con estos gobiernos es ayudarlos a hacer este traslado, este paso de la IDE al Digital Twin y también cómo poner dentro de esos sistemas los registros de tierra nacionales y otros datos que tienen los gobiernos.
Bien, tenemos unos minutos para una o dos preguntas más. ¿Cómo fue la experiencia en Australia con la adaptación de los ODS y cómo la monitorean desde la IDE nacional?
How was the experience in Australia about implementing the SDGs? Was the SDI helpful with that, both in monitoring but also in planning?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we started to working with different agencies across sustainability and also as a new layer to measuring the success of sustainability by covering the gap of the information that different agencies have.
Hemos estado trabajando con diferentes agencias estatales para ayudar en esta implementación y monitoreo de de los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible, pero también para tratar de cubrir la brecha que existía entre la información de distintas agencias.
And we added new functions into our digital twin and also into the SDI platform to providing, tools for agencies to measuring their contribution into achievements of SDI goals and indicators.
Y dentro de nuestras plataformas de IDE y de Digital Twin pusimos nuevas funciones para poder monitorear los avances en la Agenda 2030, en los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible, en sus metas e indicadores.
And also we are developing a dashboard that would demonstrate the trade-off between positive impact and negative impact of any goals and indicators of SDGs.
Y también estamos desarrollando un panel de control que nos pueda mostrar las interacciones de acciones que tienen un impacto positivo y negativo en los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible.
Thank you very
And
much.
as I've demonstrated, the relationship between SDGs is not a very direct relation. It is a interrelationship of different goals, which we need to understand that.
Y es muy importante entender que la relación entre los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible no es una relación lineal, sino que es una relación integral. Cada uno de los objetivos impacta en todos los otros. Es importante entender eso.
Bien, tenemos una más. ¿Cómo se contempla la problemática de una sociedad desigual en la implementación de la plataforma de Digital Twins?
How do you contemplate the inequalities existent in a society when implementing in the Digital Twin platform?
Digital twin is a participatory environment, which we are providing connections for different players there.
El Digital Twin es un ambiente participativo al que se puede, que tiene muchas conexiones dentro de él.
And because of the participatory functions, each player can, from the wider societies or authorities, they are interacting with a certain level of accessibility.
Y al ser participativo, cada uno de los actores de la sociedad o gubernamentales pueden tener distintas interacciones dentro de él.
And by inputting into the system will compare, will learn, and then will provide the output, which regularly the system gets, mature and more mature in interaction.
Y dentro de este sistema, cada vez que tiene un ingreso, el sistema va aprendiendo y va teniendo como interrelaciones más complejas. Entonces, el resultado es que cada vez se tienen mayores cantidades de datos más maduros para trabajar.
In a case of Victorian government, we have worked with over 20 departments for Digital Twin.
En el caso del gobierno victoriano, han estado trabajando con más de 20 agencias distintas gubernamentales para implementar el Digital Twin.
And now Victorian government, as a result of the pilot and the evidence of how different groups can participate, they now allocated $35 million to advance that to a scale up for the whole state.
Y gracias a estos trabajos pilotos, a los prototipos que hemos hecho con el gobierno y el resultado con estas 20 agencias, ahora van a invertir 35 millones de dólares para el desarrollo y la implementación del Digital Twin en distintas áreas.
Particularly planning departments, national mapping or state mapping, and also environmental and water and all the resource agencies.
Particularmente los departamentos relacionados con la planificación, tanto naturales como hídricos, y sobre todo las áreas relacionadas con ambiente.
And there is a relationship and participation from federal, state, and local governments into this.
Y hay una relación en la participación que tiene el Estado Nacional con las provincias en esto.
And in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to send to you, I just sent it the link for our upcoming event that during this week, during the 20th to 23rd, we are conducting 2 days training as well for the digital twin and advancement.
Ahí en el chat les he dejado el enlace para el evento que vamos a tener del 20 al 23 de septiembre, en el que justamente vamos a enseñar a hacer este traslado al Digital Twin y otros avances.
And in addition to this, we are also providing the solution, technical solution from 3D urban land administration into the digital twin.
Y en adición a esto también agregamos la manera de trasladar los diseños y prototipos urbanos al Digital Twin.
And you are all most welcome to attend any of these activities.
Y van a ser todos bienvenidos a asistir a cualquiera de estas actividades.
Muchas gracias, profesor Abbas. Gracias a todos los asistentes por las preguntas. Le volvemos a agradecer al profesor Abbas por su tiempo, por haber participado de las jornadas. Realmente ha sido una experiencia increíble para todos los que estamos aquí en la jornada. Tenemos ahí a Sergio, no sé si querés decirle algunas palabras antes de que ya pasemos al intervalo.
Sí, solo felicitarlo por la exposición. Tenemos mucho camino por delante para transitar en función del Digital Twins. Dejo al traductor, ahora sí voy a hacer espacio para que traduzca el traductor.
Gracias. We want to thank you again for your presentation. We want to congratulate you for it. And we will, let me, sí.
I'm very, very pleased to see Mr. Sergio, that we were actually had at least a few days together. I remember that back in Chile that we were. So very nice to see you, Mr. Slip.
Estoy muy contento de ver a Sergio, con quien hemos compartido unos días en Chile hace un tiempo.
Sí, sí. Y también felicitarlo por estos 20 años del centro de investigación que dirige. Así que felicitaciones por este aniversario.
We want also to congratulate you for the 20 years of your research center.
Thank you very much for that.
Seguramente estaremos participando de ese importante evento.
We'll be surely attending the event you're inviting us to from 20th to 23rd of September.
That would be absolutely, we would be very honored to have you all with us. And I will be sending the official invitation to you shortly.
Vamos
Muchísimas gracias. Nuevamente una felicitación y un placer haber contado con su exposición y nos mantendremos en contacto para trabajar juntos algunos de los temas importantes que expuso en su presentación.